how did the idea for the Godber Foundation initially come about?
Yeah, so I had the idea kind of in lockdown one, really. Just obviously sat around like everyone else. And I really wanted to create something which would help people from Hull. I'm from Hull. I still live here now. I'm really passionate about the city and I love the city. And I wanted to create something which would kind of give more people from the city opportunities. And being through the drama school process myself, I kind of understood what was necessary for the students sometimes. And it is a lot of those external things like paying for headshots and a spotlight membership and things like that. And it kind of got me thinking, like, how could I do something to kind of help? And also, having both my parents being in the industry, I also got to experience a lot of opportunities growing up, which really like helped my career as an actor as well. So then it got me thinking about that and thinking, how could I give opportunities to people, kind of similar in the way I've had, create connections, that kind of thing. So I came up with the idea of the foundation in lockdown one and kind of made it a reality in September 2020. So we opened for applications then, and I was quite pleasantly surprised by the amount of response we got, which was brilliant. I didn't know what to expect at all. And we now have 17 students on the foundation that we support who are from Hull and East Yorkshire. And then hopefully in September 2021, we can welcome more students onto it. So that's kind of how and when we set it up.
Amazing. And you yourself, you studied at LIPA, is that right? How was that experience?
Yeah, it was great. I think at 18 years old, which is when I went, I really didn't want to go too far from home. And LIPA kind of seemed to be the perfect place in terms of that. It was in Liverpool, it wasn't too far. I knew I didn't want to go to London. So it was one of those kind of northern drama schools. And I think Liverpool's an absolutely fantastic city anyway. So I absolutely loved living in Liverpool. And I think LIPA was the perfect place for me at the time, yeah.
So when it comes down to supporting recipients of the bursary, what are some of their most frequently asked questions? Do they differ in any way to maybe some of your own apprehensions when you were attending university? What are some of those needs?
Yeah, completely. I think there is a lot of similarities, and I think we try and support them in a range of ways. Obviously, with COVID, we are a little bit limited with the kind of extent of support we'd want to do, because I think when we advertised the foundation, we really was keen on getting students into rehearsals and practical workshops and that kind of thing, and all that kind of stuff we haven't actually been able to do yet, because obviously I don't think anyone really thought the pandemic would go on for this long. So we've been supporting people online. We've been connecting students up with professionals in the industry. So students might come to us and say, I'm really interested in community theatre. Do you know anyone in community theatre that I can speak to? I'd say, yeah, I'll contact so-and-so, let's arrange a Zoom, you can chat to them. So it's all about kind of creating connections for the students as well, and just kind of building up a bit of a network. So when they graduate, it doesn't kind of feel like a small fish in a big pond, really. Especially from the north, because I think the industry can be quite London-centric at points as well. And I think I'm really passionate about creating opportunities in the north and not having to move to London to make a career in the arts. So yeah, I do think there's a lot of similarities. And then we also support financial aspects of the students, like headshots, kind of things that you have to have as an actor, but sometimes the cost is just obviously extortionate. So I've been supporting in that way as well, but we have a kind of a range of students who are all studying different subjects. So we've got majority actors and theatre, but we do have a student who's studying lighting design, and we've got some students who are studying community theatre. So we do have a musical theatre as well. We've got a range of students studying all different things. So it's quite nice to have that variety and kind of link them up with people which we think might help them.
Wow, what a superb initiative. So what's the practical support like? How do you check in with these students? Is it a one-to-one? Are you sending emails? Is it like monthly check-ins? How does that all work?
Yeah, a bit of both really. We've been trying to do quite a lot of online workshops with people in the industry since we launched in September. So over the past 6 months, I think we've done about 10 or 12 workshops, which have obviously been online at the minute. But we've had actors from Les Mis, we've had a stage manager from Tina the Musical, artistic directors from Hull Truck, Stephen Joseph Theatre. So we've really tried to kind of get a range that the students can kind of talk and ask questions to, and again, create connections. So we've been running those workshops quite frequently. And then on a weekly basis, I'll check in with the students, see how they're doing. Some of them will just email me with different things and say, oh, do you have a contact for so-and-so? Or I'm doing this project. Do you have any ideas that might kind of stimulate me and help me think of things and all that kind of stuff, really. So we like to kind of keep it quite frequent. And I think, especially for university students in this pandemic, it's been a very tough time mentally as well. So I think we try and support the students on a pastoral level to an extent, and just check in with them, make sure everything is going okay on that side of things as well. And we did a big quiz and kind of a social night. And so, yeah, we like to kind of have a bit of variety in the type of things, but we really want to make it open that if they have something they want to ask, or they feel like they're missing something from their course, they can just pop me an email and say, oh, I really feel like I want to do more, I want to learn about more TV kind of work. Do you have anyone I can speak to in that? And then I can say, yeah, I'll get in touch with so-and-so. So we really want to make sure we're giving them the opportunities that they feel like they really need as well. Because we have students studying at drama schools, but also universities studying theatre and performance. So those two courses are quite different of what type of things they might entail and what type of things that they want to go into.
How would you describe a successful journey on the John Godber Foundation for somebody that's entered, they've seen their years through? When they come out the other side, what are you hoping they will have achieved, or what will they have ready for them waiting when they come out the other side of drama school or university?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think for me, because we want to kind of continue supporting, and when I say we, just to make it clear, we're kind of linked to the John Godber Company, so a lot of the things and connections come from the John Godber Company as well. But I think for me, we want to support the students after they have graduated as well. So I don't really want it to be this thing where it's like, okay, you graduated, bye, won't see me anymore sort of thing. Because I think those kind of years when you are graduating and starting out in the arts industries are really vital as well. So I think for me, it'd be success in kind of quotation marks would be being able to kind of, throughout their drama school or university process, kind of having support that everything was kind of necessary for them, and they felt like we really helped them being able to do what they wanted to achieve at that time, but also going out into the industry and being confident enough, having the right resources, having the right connections, being able to get in contact with people which maybe we've previously linked them in touch with, which might give them their first job. So I think definitely contacts and connections and a kind of toolkit so they're ready to go out and just experience being a professional in this industry, in the industry at the highest level.
Okay. How would you describe the perfect applicant? Is there a perfect applicant? What is it that you are looking for when you're recruiting?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard because when we launched it, we really didn't know what to expect. I really didn't know who would apply. I really didn't know if anyone would apply. So I think now we've got a bit more of an idea of the actual work we're doing and the way we want to aim our work and the future of it and things like that. Obviously, at the minute, we are just focusing on students who are from Hull and East Yorkshire. I think Hull is quite a city that's maybe forgotten about a bit in the north. So I really want to amplify that. So I think obviously students from Hull and just students who think they might need a little bit of extra support. I think that the industry is extremely elitist. I think that forever we're seeing actors who have gone to private school and Eton and all these things and live in London. And I think I would like to aim to make that more accessible to anyone who would like to be an actor or in the industry. And that's what this is all about, really. And I hope I can extend it in the future to maybe go into schools and help them even before they get to drama school or university as well, and just make it a little bit easier, because I think, you know, obviously there's Manchester, which is full of opportunities, Liverpool, Leeds, but I think Hull sometimes maybe doesn't have as many platforms in that way. So if we can kind of introduce that and help students from here really kind of just succeed in the way they want to, then that is what we're all about.
What's the diversity of your previous recipients? Are they all from similar backgrounds, similar cultural backgrounds? Does that play a factor, I guess, when selecting your recipients? And also, how do you go about recruiting? What's that process?
Yeah, absolutely. We've tried to kind of get a range of students on the course, but also kind of prioritising the students who would most benefit from the programme and most benefit from the opportunities and the financial side of things, in terms of background. In terms of recruiting, we kind of just put a call out. We asked for the students to do a monologue, or if they weren't studying drama, ask them to send in a kind of portfolio of their work. And then we watched them and kind of just had a chat with the students, really, and welcomed the ones that we thought would most benefit from what we were offering. And that's kind of how we decided on what students to continue to support in the foundation.
And what have their responses been to your support? Has the feedback all been positive? What have they?
Yeah, well, I'd like to say that it's really benefiting them. I think they're really enjoying being on it, and I think it's great because it kind of creates a bit of a community as well. We have a Facebook group. They can kind of all can link up with each other. Even though they're all from Hull, they don't necessarily know everyone. Some of them do, but it's just nice to kind of create a community and have them share opportunities, and kind of the social side of it as well, I think is really important. And the feedback I've had so far has been great, but I don't want to kind of blow my own trumpet either. But I think, yeah, they've really enjoyed the workshops we've had. So yeah, just going to continue to try and arrange workshops and opportunities, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can start doing some things in person as the year develops as well. We're actually just doing a digital showcase recently, so kind of the students who are graduating this year are able to do a separate showcase with the foundation, in which we invite a lot of northern people, particularly from Hull and Yorkshire, to be able to watch them as well as their drama school showcases, and create more networking opportunities, yet again with things like that when they graduate. So yeah, I just hope that we're able to do some more practical stuff by the end of this year.
Brilliant. So where do you see the foundation in 5 years' time? Where would you like the foundation to be? How does it expand from the offer that you currently have?
Yeah, I'd really like, as I mentioned before, I'd really like to go into schools and do kind of the bit before getting to drama school, because obviously all the students we have now are at university. They were at university when they applied, or they had a place at university. But I'd really like to kind of continue the work before that, and kind of just make a very clear point that anyone can go to drama school and anyone can do this and make a career of it, no matter what background you are from. I'm really passionate about that. So that's something that I'd like to go into schools with in the future, and potentially do workshops there and help students from Hull get to drama school. So we've got more students going and having them opportunities, which I think is really important. And then just continuing to support the students we have in the foundation also. Continuing to, sorry, my emails like cropped up at the side there and it was distracting me, I'm sorry. Yeah, continue to support the students we've got on at the minute, obviously take more students on, and really just create more opportunities, create a community. I think in the future, maybe like 10 years time potentially, I'd really like to maybe have more of like an acting school in Hull, for people from underrepresented backgrounds and underrepresented voices, and kind of do free drama classes, and even for adults and children, and that's something I'd really like to do as well. So I've got a lot of ideas, and we've already been moving really fast with different things. So I just hope it continues in that manner, and we can make a difference, really.
How does the foundation go about allocating financial support? Does every recipient sort of have a little pot that they're able to dip into for resources, headshots, stage combat courses, or is it a pay-as-you-go basis? They email and you provide?
So we kind of ask the students to apply for funding if they feel like it could be something that would benefit from them. I think what we have found that it is kind of the bigger things like the headshots and the spotlight, the kind of bigger costs which they're really benefiting from, rather than the smaller little things, which is something we've learned. Again, we really didn't know what to expect with this. So it's just that really, but we also kind of help the students if they want to apply for bigger funding, if they want to apply for funding for their accommodation or things like that, we can link them up with kind of bigger trusts and funds that might support them in that way as well. So the help is definitely there for when they need it.
How does the John Godber Company factor into the foundation? Obviously, your dad and your mum, John and Jane, that's a huge selling point, I can imagine, for young people to be able to meet them, to be in a rehearsal room with them, to see them work. How do they involve themselves with the foundation, if they do at all?
100%. And, you know, we've kind of I've been able to launch this idea on the back of the John Godber Company, and that has been an extreme advantage in being able to do this, because it has the name with it and the opportunities that can come with it. And we like I kind of mentioned at the start, we really wanted students to be able to sit in on John Godber Company rehearsals and things like that, which obviously we haven't been able to do yet, but definitely something in the future, in terms of that as well, and kind of come backstage and get all the kind of hands-on experiences of what it's like working in the industry. Yeah, we're all very involved, and my sister actually as well, who works in theatre, really helps with the foundation on the funding side of things. So she's involved. So it's definitely a family affair. I kind of run it on a day-to-day basis and speak to the students and get in contact with people, as well as my mum and my dad. So yeah, we're all a bit of a family affair with it. And obviously, again, I've got the advantage of going to my dad and saying, oh, do you know anyone who might potentially help with this? And obviously my dad's been in the industry for years, so most of the time he says, yeah, I know so-and-so, let's pass on their email, let's get that contact, let's get that ball rolling. So yeah, we're all working together on it, which is nice, to have everyone involved. And sometimes if I'm not available, I can then say, oh, I'm available all the time at the minute. But when I'm not available, I can pass on the ball to my sister and say, or if it's something I'm not necessarily 100%, if it's more academic, Elizabeth, who's my sister, is studying a PhD, so in English. So if it's maybe kind of something about a job application, I can say, okay, I'll forward that on to Elizabeth, let her have a look at it, we can come back. So we've kind of got everyone in different areas who can help just amongst the four of us as well.
If you are a potential applicant listening to this podcast episode, how do you go about finding out some more information? Where do you sign up?
Yeah, so we're on every social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us, the Godber Theatre Foundation. If you want to drop us an email to ask any questions about anything at all, I'm very open to that, having conversations with people where they think, oh, I'm really interested, but I don't know whether I fit the brief, or really open, just drop me an email. The email's on our website, which you can find via our social media. So yeah, just drop me an email and open a conversation. I'm going to be opening more applications around end of summer, September time, which we'll shout about on our social media. Also, our website's got all the information on the Godber Theatre Foundation. Just Google it, and hopefully it'll come up, and you can kind of find a bit more in detail about what specifically, what specific kind of work we've been doing, what workshops we've been running, a bit more about the foundation members who are with us on the programme now. But yeah, our inbox is always open if you have any questions or want to just ask anything. Yeah.
Is there an age restriction for candidates?
No, I think we just kind of say studying degree level, but age doesn't matter. Haven't really thought about that before. I've just kind of really thought about the age you are when you're studying. But yeah, I guess it's any age. And if you are studying like a foundation degree or a master's degree, that's totally fine as well. It doesn't have to be an undergrad. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Martha. Thank you very much for your time. I've really enjoyed chatting to you this afternoon. The John Godber Foundation, for more information, just check the link below. And thank you very much, Martha, again for your time. I hope to speak to you again soon.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for asking me to come and chat. I've really enjoyed it. See you soon. Bye.